Atlanta early that year. Steve, as long as I live, I'll never forget that. I was on pit road. I looked over there towards turn three, and there's this great big plume of black smoke. And it scared me to death. And then after the race, Jamie Reynolds, you remember him, I'm sure, one of the crew guys. I had worked with him up in Sparta, where we were both from originally, and he took me over to the car and he lifted it up, and I couldn't believe what I saw in that accident. What do you remember about all that?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I remember it all. It didn't knock me out or anything. I remember every part of it. But kind of the thing that I think sometimes gets lost in that is we were, again, a decent run going there. We had just green flag pit stops, and I'm not really sure exactly what happened. We were all in a wad. I know Jimmy Spencer was in there. I was in there. A couple others. And Robbie Gordon come out of the pits. And, again, he didn't do anything wrong. I'm not saying he done anything wrong. It's just he come up and crowded Jimmy and got Jimmy up in the fence, basically almost in the fence. Well, I get by him. I'm going on. Then they both have fresh tires, so they come back by me. They're still kind of going at it, and we go down into 1 and 2, and Robbie carries Jimmy all the way up to the wall coming off 2, the old number 2 onto the back straightaway there at Atlanta. And Jimmy got sideways, got into loose stuff, and he got sideways when he was coming off 2. So I'm right there, and it's like, I hit Jimmy in the door. I'm looking, not sure exactly which way Jimmy was going to slide, and there was a little room between him and the outside wall, but a whole lot of room between him and the inside wall. And Mike Skinner just come out of the pits, and he was on fresh tires, and he's the one that hit me in the back end. And if you kind of watch that, it knocked me up in the air. Obviously, when he hit, I was on the brakes, but the rear wheels was off the ground. Not a lot of the front wheels was on the ground. And then it was that one spot there at that time at the old Atlanta where the wall kind of 45'd out. And I guess I hit because I wasn't slowing down any at all because, again, the rear wheels was off the ground. And I hit that 45-degree angle. The only way you could hit it and still be sitting here to talk, the left rear tire took a good bit of the blow of that impact. And then, again, it bounced me up in the air and flipping around. And not sure, I think it was Mike Wallace come through while I was up in the air. And somehow or another, the fuel cell caught fire. But, no, I was conscious through all that. When I finally did come to rest, I looked and the window net was just kind of hanging. So I started out the driver's door. Well, by the time hot oil was all in the roof of the car. I was laying on the roof. So I started out the driver's side. Well, the rear end and all had flipped over, and it was right there at the driver's door. By that time, Carl Simmons, the NASCAR official, he got to the right side of the car, and he's like, Steve, you all right? I said, yeah, I'm all right. He said, you can't go out that side. Well, I was already had half my body out that side. I don't think you can actually see that, but that's what was going on during all that. So I had to back in the car on my elbows, then try to get turned around, and then go out the right side. Well, in all that, then got my feet tangled up in the seat and the steering wheel because everything was just all smashed up. Well, I got my shoulders and everything out the right side. Then they started pulling me. Well, my foot was hung. Every time they pulled me, I'd be like, oh. And they was like, what's wrong? I was like, my foot's hung. But anyway, finally got free. And, then they thought, I don't know, that maybe I wasn't at myself or something. But I told Carl, I said, no, I'm fine. He said, what hurts? And I told him, my foot and stuff. And he's like, all right. Well, then carried me into the ambulance and got in there. And, they was scared to touch anything or whatever. They cut my uniform off and all. And, I told them I was fine. And anyway, we sat around there and talked a while. And they finally realized, they obviously checked me out from top to bottom. But, they could tell that I was all right. And then got up and we left and come home.